Welcome to Talk. We are your host, Jaime Moreno.
And Eddie Marmolejo.
We're just doing a follow-up on what's going on in Iran. And I know a lot of you guys are probably scared, as the media rightfully is doing, right? Well, not rightfully. They're doing such a good job in scaring us all that we're going to World War III over the death of Soleimani. However, given the recent events, President Trump gave a speech on what's his strategy in trying to calm Iran, trying to retaliate on what they've done. And this is just a matter of, many preconceived stuff that happened prior, that developed over the years that got us to where we are now. So I know we haven't talked about Iran in years. Probably the last time we spoke about Iran was when President Trump backed out of the deal.
Yeah, you mean on Talk? Yeah.
And we backed out on a nuclear deal with Iran, and now we're just like, okay, what's gonna happen now?
Right.
So just to give you guys at ease, we're not going to World War III over this. I don't think anyone wants to fight the U.S. at this point. Iran doesn't have the military capabilities. I mean, they have weapons, but I don't think they have the technology we have. And President Trump made the announcement and gave us a pretty much an idea of what our forces look like. Iraq, I know everyone's going to talk about non-Iraq. Russia, Iran and Russia are allies. Everyone's going to talk about that. Russia, I don't think they're going to be dumb enough to actually come to war with the United States over Iran. I don't think they'll do that. And it's not because Trump is a puppet of Russia. We already disproved that. We already know that that's all false, right? By the media. Yeah. But Eddie, explain to us. So what's going on? Okay, so we know this happened, right? We had this interchange of missiles.
Right.
The United States didn't actually attack Iran, right? They attacked the general within the country of Iraq.
Right.
Now Iran went ahead and threw some missiles out.
Right.
Shot some missiles out at some bases. What does that mean? What's the next step?
What's the consensus? Oh wait, what can we expect next? It's if you tune into our previous episode, we discussed what some of the probable moves of Iran would be. Either funding proxy wars or funding terrorist organizations that can conduct attacks against the United States. Mm-hmm. Those were probably the extent of their retaliation for Soleimani. Or basically what they did yesterday. It was just a show of force to basically show the strong followers of the Iranian regime that we will not back down. I mean, if you heard reports from our side in the Pentagon, President Trump and other outlets, they said that no injuries happened with this attack, right? But if you tune into Iranian state media, they said that 80 U.S. soldiers died.
Now, hence, as Eddie said, Iranian state-sponsored media, or state media.
Yeah.
Meaning the government controls the media, gives a report of what they want to give. The government takes control of that, right?
Yeah, it's like our
That's
CNN.
The country a lot of these liberals are defending.
Yeah, okay? it's for us. It's like CNN, MSNBC. You know, that's our state media here.
No, it's not our state media here actually, because Trump would be telling those networks what to say.
No, it just works differently here. They're independent of Trump.
So they're in collusion.
They're in collusion with Congress
to make
the House of Representatives. Anyways, all jokes aside, right? All jokes aside. So the Iranian state media reported that 80 U.S. soldiers died. Okay, fine, whatever. Show of force. Okay, you threw missiles. You didn't hit anybody. Whatever.
So are you sure the U.S. government is not covering up that?
I am not going to make that assumption. There's no report or intel suggesting a cover up of those number of U.S. soldiers killed at any time. Mm-hmm. And the only other reason I would say that because I don't believe that President Trump is the kind of president that will take the death of 80 soldiers likely. And you could hear that in the tone of his speech today. Mm-hmm. You presented some of the facts, and what did I say? The whole speech, if you listen to it, is deterrence with the threat of force. That's all it was.
Now, what would you say? One thing we would actually, logically speaking, right? Because we're all rational thinkers. How would Iranians get that number, anyways?
80?
Yeah, how
I'll
would they
make
get
it up. I don't know.
I mean, they don't have.
I mean, you
access
could
to
just say
Iraq.
you could just probably take. Man, you're gonna make me sound like a nerd right now. You probably could take the impact radius of one of those missiles and get an estimated kill ratio amount, and then there you get that.
That's probably what.
That's probably what it is. That's probably
But,
what it is.
I mean, they don't have like intel in Iraq to tell.
No.
them,
What I'm saying, like, you could take you can look at the schematics of a particular missile, and then you can take the kill point radius of that particular missile, and then you can estimate the number of deaths you can get. Does that make sense?
makes
So, like a
sense.
kill, like
Yeah, that makes sense. But I
yeah.
mean, they would need to have that. They would need to get that data from something, right?
No, I mean, it's your own technology, so you know what you have. So that's what I'm saying. That's where you get the intel. You can make up the number, but like again, it's state media, so
So that's just a number that pretty much can make.
yeah, pretty much.
It's
Yeah,
not that solid of a number that can get
but
back.
to
Also, now that this is going on, do you think the United States is going to retaliate back?
no, and that was clear made by President Trump, and this is one of the things I want to point out to our viewers and a lot of you that were having like separate discussions with me personally about this. I said, look, all you're gonna see is a threat of force. You're gonna see proportional responses. That's the term that you want to see. We just saw proportional responses. Yes, the attack by Iran was a proportional response to what we did to Soleimani, because that's probably the furthest they could ever go before subjecting themselves to all-out war, which is what the media is advocating for at this point, right?
So pretty much they're just trying to show that they're tough too.
Yeah,
they're serious,
but,
right?
Yeah.
Quotations.
But if you look at the president's speech, what do you talk about? Coalition of nations against Iran, implementing sanctions, allowing Iran to come back into the international community, with their prosperous economy, tap into whatever resources they have so they can grow, establish the correct regimes. That's by the Iranian people. None of these arguments about regime change, endless wars, or anything of that sort, and this is me just going off the speech, right, were hinted in the president's speech this morning. They were not. Because all you've seen in the media all day, tune into CNN, MSNBC, is like, oh, look, the president's speech, like, he wants to take us to endless wars. That was not in the speech. Mm-hmm. He said, I don't even want conflict with you. In fact, I want China, Russia, Europe, England to work together so we can finally understand that Iran is a threat to the international community, and Iran's behavior is a threat to the international community, and we got to find a way to basically subdue that. Okay?
And the threat to the international community is they're the number
one sponsor of
terrorism.
terrorism. They fueled many terrorist groups, right, and all of that. But what I love about President Trump, and this is before he said good morning, was Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. That sets the tone of deterrence that I keep talking about. Deterrence. So you will have maybe a nearby force, which is probably going to be the Fifth Fleet. Okay, it's always been there. It's been there for about 20 years and so forth, right? You're going to have the naval fleet have a presence there. But for you viewers, this is the extent that you're going to see of the United States at this time. If Iran keep pushing it, then you're going to see other responses. But what did the president say? I will implement further sanctions against Iran. Mm-hmm. He didn't say I'm sending more drones. I'm not sending troops in. I'm not doing anything of that. This, again, my analysis of the speech. Now, if President Trump sends B-52 bombers and F-22s and F-117s and anything else tomorrow, that's on him. I'm going based off the speech today and my understanding of the speech. So as of now, I can tell you that this is going to be more diplomatic. It's not going to be the full out scale war that
the media is portraying, and social media, and all these liberals who are crying.
And that's another thing. Look,
they're crying to Iran, apologizing to a regime that's so repressive that they themselves wouldn't even be able to tweet what they just tweeted.
No, and that's not even the sad part. The sad part is our own citizens talking about how this president does not care about our troops. That all he wants is to go to war. And he's war hungry. And he doesn't care about us. If President Trump really was that person, he would not provide a diplomatic solution. He would provide what we in the national security field called a hawkish solution. That means pressing the button, sending more troops in, like what Obama did in Iraq, after he did not listen to his national security advisors when they told him don't pull out because we have to send back troops in, and that's what he did. And then we can go from there. But President Trump, as of now, I believe is going to go through the more diplomatic solution. The ball's in Iran's court because he's right, and a lot of you viewers, and I've seen you guys' comments. You want to interpret death to America like what the Ayatollah Khomeini said. That's against Trump, Pompeo, and his administration. No, they've been chanting death to America for 40 years. Okay, since 1979. That's Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and now President Trump. All those presidencies have one thing in common: by Iran, death to America. So no, it's not that. It is not to the administration. Okay, it's to everybody, and
the entire country.
So I don't care what T.I. says. I don't care what any of these mainstream actors, actresses, singers say. Death to America means death to America. That means to you, your husband, to all you that fear for those for your husband who's in the military, but want to bash the president when he's providing a diplomatic solution. Okay, yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. No,
and we have to also take into account that. I mean, this translation hasn't been verified yet.
What?
That's the actual translation that the supreme leader of Iran said. I mean,
no, he said it he said it. Well, he was. You saw the videos.
Yeah, we saw the videos. So we don't. Is that actual verified that he actually said that, or was someone just typed in those translations to make it sound that way? Because in the digital age world, in the technology,
you can switch your.
We can do Photoshop, right?
Yeah, Well, that's a good question. We have to verify.
So we have to verify that.
Yeah, verify that.
And not only that, we have to also understand that Iranians are not dumb. They know that there's a big group of people who don't like Trump, who don't want Trump to be in office, and it's been apparent by the media, and it's been apparent by all celebrities, the majority of celebrities. It's been apparent by people protesting and tweeting and all that stuff that they don't want this president. So let's assume, right, or let's play it safe that he did say that. He meant to say death to America only mean to Trump. Mm-hmm. But if he did actually say that, I would say that he probably just played off on that group of people who don't want the president.
Oh, of course.
To try to get them to support their cause,
and
instead of being honest.
And if it all holds like what you're saying, that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm. Because you've seen it on social media, you've seen the comments by people all over the news. President and
Iranians could easily been like, well, you know what? Let's just tap on that little hatred against Trump in America, and let's not scare people and keep the ignorant American people supporting our regime, right? Let's not tell them the truth about how we are in Iran, and have them support us because we just hate Trump and they're gonna agree with us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which pretty much is a pretty good propaganda tactic.
Yeah,
if you ask me, right?
It's easily worked because. Like when I was having conversations with people and in discussions, it was, well, you're Latino, how do you support Trump? Trump doesn't even care about our military. Trump just wants to send soldiers and fight for other people's countries. Trump wants regime change and all that. Did y'all not listen to the speech this morning? Did y'all not listen to this dang speech this morning? The man said he does not want conflict. He wants a peaceful resolution, and he wants to work with other nations. And he's like, you know what? And the Iran deal was a bad deal. It's about to end, by the way. And guess what? After they do that, they're on a free path to build ballistic missiles. I'm trying to stop all that. And I need other countries to work with me. Where in all that did you hear, oh, we're going to send troops in. We will send the 5th, the 7th, and any other fleet. We will send all these airstrike teams.
We'll send in the Marines.
We'll send in the Marines. We'll send the amphibious Marines and all that. We will send clone troopers, storm troopers, any other troops, because now I have a space force. I will put the Death Star over Tehran, and I will blow it up if they do anything again. None of that happened. So you people, for the love of God, listen to the speech. And then you can say,
and let's weigh out the actions.
Let's weigh out the actions and see what happens. You heard the responses from the Ayatollah. You heard the responses from Trump. Now we're back to square one. And that's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to wait to see. But as of now, we're not going to war, okay? The deployments that you're seeing right now are just show of force of deterrence. They're not, unless something else happens, we're not going to see combat.
Yeah. We're not going to see combat. So that's pretty much our follow up with Iran. Thank you for tuning in for this little segment. If you have any more questions, as we said, we will keep following on what's going on internationally, what the president and his cabinet is going to do in regards to Iran. And we're going to see if it's actually going to turn out to a diplomatic solution. As right now, it looks like a diplomatic solution to the problem, but we'll see. Iran has been noted to be kind of stubborn in their ways. So is the United States, and we'll see what happens from there. Thank you very much for tuning in for this small little follow-up. Hopefully we can keep you at ease and we can relieve all your fears and you can just stop, worrying or stressing over the World War III fear-mongering that the media has right now.
Right.
So thank you once again. We are your hosts, Jaime Moreno.
And Eddie Marmolejo.
And remember, we're
tired of it.